are they easy to work with? Like he was fishing for something. And I was like, this happened to be at the time when it was vocally
change the narrative in your mind.
Like we would film with her and she would get mad at their paparazzi. I'm like, we're in a public space. I mean, like, she was just
Time of death, 9:32 a.m. Today is March 13th, 2025.
Not gonna make it. Not gonna make it out. Smeared on the pavement. Not gonna make it.
So backstory for me, like, when I was growing up, my best friend at the time and I used to, like, give them a bunch of hate, like the world did. But we were, at one point in time, we were like, wait, we actually haven't, like, seen the show. Maybe we should watch it. And so, like, in the summer, in her basement, in my small town in Oregon, we would, like, binge the Kardashians. We were obsessed with it. We would joke, like, Mason, you need to get in that family. Have Chris needs to be your momager. So it was just so surreal when that ended up, my first big job in Hollywood was on Keeping Up with the Kardashians. We started talking on the plane. And so it was so LA. It was so Hollywood because we're, like, on this plane. I'm telling her that I'm an actor. And she was like, oh, like, I'm actually, like, she also worked with actors, or she was, like, a therapist. She was something. We were doing, like, these exercises on the plane. I don't remember. It was years ago, but we were, like, doing these, like, exercises on the plane. And then I'm like, obviously I'm, like, wanting to get the inside scoop because I'm a huge fan of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. And I'm like, you work on the show? This was the time period of, like, Kanye is going into the mental hospital for the first time. Okay. This was, like, Jordan had just, like, caused that whole scandal with Kylie and Khloe, and, like, it's like right after that. So then she's, like, giving me, like, the inside scoop, blah blah blah, and we're just getting along. Like, we're just really getting along, and she's, like, a great girl. So we got each other's numbers, and then she hit me up after, like, the next week or something. She hit me up and she was like, hey, so we are filming this, like, 10-year anniversary special with the whole family. Ryan Seacrest is going to host it. Do you want to come?
He came to the dinner, and, like, because Brandon, I didn't want to go on a blind date. So Brandon kind of ambushed the blind date.
Right, you need wing. You need some wing protection.
So I had a bunch of people, and he brought him, and, like, we just connected.
If you were to say it's in a phase of a relationship, it's a serious phase that you guys are in?
It's a serious relationship.
It's a level 5.
Out of what?
6. From the moment I landed and was there, I, like, fell madly in love with him. And so I was, flew all the way home on Thanksgiving, and the doctor told me, there's no heartbeat, you had a miscarriage, let's get through it, come in after Thanksgiving dinner, it'll be private, no one will be in here. And then I went in that morning, and he's like, there's a heartbeat. You didn't have a miscarriage. And I'm like, oh my God, this is a sign. I mean, it was, like, such an emotional Thanksgiving.
And I was like, what? I was like, yes. Like, little old me, like, yeah, I'll go for sure. It was a really intimate audience. It was like 20 people or something like that. I got to meet the whole family there. It was like they were all up on the stage, like, right in front of me, and, like, Ryan Seacrest is holding a microphone for me, and I'm, like, asking Kris Jenner when she's going to change the floors in her house. It was it was funny. I met them there, and that was really, really fun. And then they asked me if I wanted to work on the show. And I don't remember what came first. Like, I got there's so many lessons here. I think at first Chris needed an assistant. And so I get this text out of the blue from Matthew, her assistant, like, her longtime assistant. And he's like, hey, can you start, like, this day or whatever? And this was such a lesson in this business, because I was like, I took a moment to freak out because I was like, what? Like, what the hell's happening? Literally a minute. And then I wrote him back, never got a response. So my assumption was, like, oh, they sent it to, like, multiple people. Whoever texted back they got it. So I was just like, oh damn, like that sucks. And like that would have been so cool, like being her assistant, whatever. Then my friend is like, do you want to work on the show as a PA? And I was like, no, like I'm an actor. I just had blinders on. I lived that way because I grew up with this sentiment that there is no plan B. There's no other option. There's just what I want to do. And what I want to do is no more difficult than if I had grown up and wanted to be like a teacher or wanted to do anything. It's just kind of like, I want to do this. It's right. It feels right. And I want to do it. So I had turned them down at first because I had blinders on and I was stuck in actor mode. And I was like, I'm an actor. And then a few months went by and I still wasn't like going out there to be an actor because I was just dealing with so much personal stuff. I hit her back up, my contact who was a coordinator on the show, and I just to say hi. Like I literally was like, you were just a really nice person. Like, hi, how's it going? Like, you good? And she was like, do you still want to work on the show? And I was like, okay, yeah, I'll give this a shot. Literally like the next day, I'm like leaving my roach infested apartment in North Hollywood and I'm being chased by paparazzi and peeing in Kim Kardashian's bathroom. Like, it's just like two worlds, you know? Watching the Kardashians growing up, it definitely influenced me to want a big life, to like see all the glitz and glam. And like, I grew up in Oregon. Nothing about where I live is glitz and glam and any of that. I just felt like I didn't fit in.
You know, my grandmother, she always used to say that some people don't deserve to live. And I never questioned that. I never did. I didn't question anything. And look where it got me. I'm on this floor, what the fuck is this, cement? I don't know, fuck. I mean, no windows, no water. I can't breathe. Maybe my grandmother, she was right. Maybe some people don't deserve to live, and I guess I'm one of those people.
So what would a typical day be for me working on Keeping Up? So technically, when I started working on the show, we were filming season 16 of Keeping Up. And I just remember, I think somebody was on like maternity leave or something. And so I was kind of an on-call PA. They would call me and be like, hey, can you be in Calabasas in an hour? And I'd be like, sure. I would drive to Calabasas. I would go to the production offices where we'd all meet, like the producers and camera crew and the other PAs. And we would help load, I think we had one van. We had two vans, I think. One van for the camera crew and producers, and then another van for like food and equipment and other stuff. Mind you, to this day, after all the movies and shows I've done after, it was the easiest job I've had in Hollywood. I'll just say that. Like my first day working on that show, because we would start at their homes. We would set up car cameras in their cars. Like Chloe, she had just gotten like this Rolls Royce Cullinan, and it had like red mink floors, and she wouldn't even wear her shoes in the car. She would like show up barefoot. And I'm obsessed with Chloe, like obsessed with all of them. But it was just funny. Like she like got this new car and she wouldn't wear any shoes. And so we'd put like cameras in the car. We would load up the cars, load up to vans. And so I would drive the producer and the cameraman. So there'd be paparazzi waiting for us outside of the offices every single morning, every single day. And so they would wait for us, and then they would follow us to their gated community every day. And my camera died. We would put like car cameras in the car, and then like I would have to drive the cameramen and the producers, and we're like filming this. So I'm behind Chloe if I lose Chloe, we lose the audio and it's my fault. And it's like day 1. So Chloe's like,
Get out and go. Get out of here and go. No one wants you in.
And the paparazzi are chasing me on the freeway, like cutting people off, like telling me to go. It was just wild, like so wild. Like we went to a mall and they wanted to go get like maybe like frozen yogurt with like Courtney and Chloe. And I'm just like, why are we at a mall? Like it's just the pandemonium, you know? Working on that show was so eye-opening. It was so incredible. It was like, it was such a crazy feeling. I think anyone that rolls up anywhere with the Kardashians, you feel like a badass. Like you feel cool, and just to feel like a sliver of like what they must feel like is crazy, you know, to see that life and to see that money and that access into everything. But yeah, I mean, there were some things about the show and working on the show that weren't so great, you know, that weren't so happy-go-lucky, that weren't like a fairy tale. One of them being, I have to say, like, the family, they were great, really, really warm. They just seemed really rich and happy, and that's great. You know, in terms of like working on a reality show and wondering how, you know, how the sauce is made, like I definitely know. Or back in the day, you know, some shows like Jersey Shore, like they would just film all the time. I think back when reality shows first started, that was kind of it, like record all this stuff and then you end up coming up with something. But nowadays, especially with that family being they're so busy and everything is like a machine. Like I was instructed by,
We don't want you in the shoot. I'm planning it. Did I already say that?
Okay, you know what? So they're all working in tandem together, and like no shame in that game. Like that is their business, and it's their business, you know. But I think for me, the things that weren't so fun, like I didn't have the best time with like the crew that I was working with. Like most of them had been on that show since like the beginning, and like they were a family. Like the things, like when some producers got back into the van and would say some things about, and I'm like, what? But I'm like, okay, they know each other for so long. Like I guess if I know somebody for that long, I could make a comment like that. But I just remember like I tried to like befriend like the other PAs that had been on the show, and they just were not nice. They were not nice. Like they were just not that friendly. And like one day, like we were sitting outside of Kim's house. It was like me and another PA were like sitting in the production van outside of Kim's house, and Vogue was there, I think doing something with her. And I'll just say that the vibe was,
Perfect. Then shut up. No, but it's like I'm not.
in the words of Wendy Williams,
Don't be in it.
I don't know. Like I never met. I was just like around and heard and felt vibes. But this one day, I'm like sitting with this PA outside of Kim's house for hours, and we're like having a really in-depth conversation. Like I thought it was really, really great. Like I was bonding with this guy and like might have had a little crush and was feeling it out. I was like, I'm gonna ask everyone if they want to like, you know, get drinks after work, so there could be a chance for like me to get to know the other people that I work with. And so he was like, yeah, that sounds really fun. At the end of the day, when I was going to ask everybody to go get drinks, like that person I was talking to about it,
Like if it's a
But
Saturday.
you act like I don't do Do you know all you have this narrative in your mind? No. I will literally you up. If you mention it again, literally shut the up and don't laugh like that. You look like a freak.
it just wasn't the best vibes there. Now, how my time ended on Keeping Up with the Kardashians, that is a whole other story, and I think I know. And it's so it's so Hollywood. I was also doing Lyft and Uber throughout my working in film and TV because it was a job that I could have and drop when I needed. And I couldn't get like a normal job because I would get a call like, hey, do you want to work on this movie? It starts in, next week, like, want to do it? And I'm like, okay, let's go. My Lyft journey is so interesting because I would pick up celebrities that I had like a personal connection to a lot of the time. Which if you want a story time on that, let me know. Oh, okay. So I was doing Lyft and Uber. I'm in like West Hollywood. I go pick up a guy from like some yoga studio or something, this like tall blonde guy. And he gets in the car and we start talking, and he was like, oh, do you do anything else like outside of this? And I was like, oh, well, I work on Keeping Up with the Kardashians. And he was like, oh, I work with them too. And I was like, oh, what do you do? He's like, oh, I'm their hairstylist. And I look back and I don't remember if it was,
Change the narrative.
It was one other blonde hairstylist or something, okay? So I'm driving him home and I'm talking about the show, talking about, oh, we've probably been in the same like vicinity, blah, blah, blah. And then he asks me this question. He's like, so what do you think about,
Okay, but honestly,
are they easy to work with? Like he was fishing for something. And I was like, this happened to be at the time when he was vocally
change the narrative in your mind.
Like we would film with her and she would get mad at their paparazzi. I'm like, we're in a public space. I mean, like, she was just and so I was like, well, narrative can be difficult, and like that's coming off the heels of like producers getting into the van and being like,
about this work ethic, like, she's the only one with work,
so I'm just being like, yeah, like,
and she's doing this
isn't, was having her thing, but everyone's has their stuff going on, whatever. And then he was like, oh, I'm actually texting
as if
right now. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then after that, they stopped reaching out. And I think he tried to like get me to say something bad about them, to be like, oh, you have a mole in your camp. And it's like, I guess, I mean, it's like, it's not a secret.
She's better.
I don't know, but that's how it kind of stopped, was just like that. Oh, wait, no, that's not even how it really stopped. Hold on. Oh my God, I forgot about this. So really, well, that happened, okay? That happened, I think, after what previously happened, which was like, there were some days I would work in the office. Most days I would work as a field PA. So I'd be filming the show out in the world with the family. And so the days that I'd work in the office, like, I would be at the front desk. I was friendly with the hiring manager. And so I had been there for a while. Like, I basically was there full time while this other person was on maternity, doing something. One day I'm in the office, get there early. I got there like 30 minutes early, and I'm sitting down with the hiring manager being like, I really want to be here full time. Like, I love it. I'm basically here full time. Like, I really, really, really would love an opportunity to get a full-time job here. And he was like, okay. And then literally, because, okay, this is such a long time ago, but from what I recall, my friend told me that like they were going to hire somebody. They were hiring a new person. I'm there on call. They're calling me every single day to be in Calabasas. So at some point I was like, hey, like, can I be the one? Like, I want to make this official. Like, I'm here. And he's like, okay, yeah, we'll see about, what we can do. And then I go sit down at my desk, or maybe this was like a couple days later. I don't know. There might've been some time in between me being like, hey, I would like an interview, and them not really like following up. And then I'm at the office one day and the hiring manager comes up to me and he's like, hey, there's somebody coming in for an interview. Just send them back to me when they get here. And I'm like, are we on the same planet? I've been working here. Like, I asked if I could get a full-time job. And so that kind of put a sour taste in my mouth. And yeah, definitely shows like, it's just, there's no loyalty, it seems. Like, they'll just cut you. They'll use you. They will, and that just really sucked. And I also was like the only person of color. Like, it would have been nice if they were like, yeah, it's important to have people of color. But that was before Black Lives Matter, before all that stuff. I feel like I missed a lot, and this is my first video, so it's like all over the place and I look crazy. But I want to do a live Q&A session with whoever's interested. If anyone wants to ask questions or get more of the inside scoop, or just how did I get that job or other jobs. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like, it means the world to me that anybody would care what I had to say. It would also mean the world to me if you would like, subscribe, go subscribe to the Patreon where you can see unedited, unfiltered. You can get the raw, real, dirty truth about what's really going on in Hollywood. You can go to the Patreon right now. Link is in the bio. Also check out episode 2 of Hollywood Adjacent, which is featuring a movie that I worked on starring Adam Driver called 65. This like $100 million dinosaur thriller. So I'm excited to watch that for the first time with you guys and give you the inside scoop of that movie. Anyways, thank you for watching and I can't wait to see you soon.
You're gonna make it.